Welcome to part 2 of the Kenwood KR6170 series. In the first episode, I unboxed the new old stock receiver and introduced you to all its crazy gadgets. Kenwood called it the Jumbo because it's huge in size and on features. A drum machine, spring reverb, mic inputs, guitar inputs, and timer, just to name a few. At the end of part 1, I was just about to open the top cover. Let's pick it up from there. Here's our power transformer, filter and audio output capacitors, heatsink and power output transistors, power meters board, tone presets board, speaker selector and power limiter board, preamp and main amp boards, FM muting board, the tuner board, miscellaneous selector switch board, tuner display and backlights, tuning dial assembly, a shielded conduit for the wires that supply the power limiter board, and the spring reverb. I've hooked up the receiver to my dim bulb current limiter and Variac. Let's see how that's going.
Yeah, there is no current going to this. Check my power switch again. Alright, let's check the fuse. If not, we have a major fault here. Let's see. Let's test continuity. The fuse looks fine. I can't imagine it's blown. The fuse is fine. Let's try it again. Nope. Okay. We either have a very dead bulb or a very dead receiver. Nothing. Okay. Let's try it again. Let's see if I see anything on the screen here. Yeah, we got nothing. Should have something even with a 200 watt bulb current limiting. Don't think we need our timer running, do? Oh, we do. We do. Okay. Whatever, we're in a mode right now, perhaps, where the timer needs to be activated. So when I turned on the timer, you can see we had a current draw, and that turned the unit on. All right, so I backed off really quickly. Let's figure out how to disable the timer. I can't imagine we need to run this with the timer on every time. That would be interesting. All right, so timer is off. Well, I guess until I can figure that out, I'm going to crank the timer up a bit. Power is on. I'm going to ramp up the Variac now. Okay, no, that's a good sign. All right, we're getting current draw. We can see our dim bulb is lighting. It's not lighting very brightly, which is good. I'm at 76 volts. I'm going to keep it there. Just keeping an eye on this filament, making sure that it gets brighter and then it grows dimmer. That's a good sign. Let's go a little higher. 85 volts. Let's just give those electrolytics a chance to warm up. 91 volts. So far, so good. I think those electrolytics in our the power section might be just fine. 100 volts. Looking good. I wonder if I can get any audio out of this at 100 volts. I'm going to put on my old headphones here. Plug that in here. Okay, I can hear the drum machine working. How about that? Oh, it's working. Wow. Oh my gosh. Oh, it sounds amazing. Yeah. You can't hear that because I have the headphones on, but good sign. I see no obvious faults so far with this, and I think we can proceed with powering this up fully. Let me hook up some speakers and we'll do a little demonstration of what we have. Okay, before I connect speakers, the headphone output is working fine, but I need to make sure that the power amplifier is not putting any DC on the speaker output. So let's test this now. I have the multimeter connected to one side of the speakers, left or right, I forget which. Let's see if there's any DC on here when we power up. Power. Okay, let's ramp this up again. Okay, here we go. Ooh. Wow. Yeah, we can see already we've got, oh, that's not good. 0.5 volts DC on our speaker outputs. Yeah, okay, that's not good. We don't want that. We have some blown capacitors in the amplifier section, so we don't want to run that. That's not good. And I've only got 48 volts going through. Bad. Off. Okay, so looking at the schematic, I've noticed that the output on this receiver is capacitor coupled, and that's these two capacitors here. These are actually for the audio output. So these capacitors here need to be replaced. I think that's probably what's causing the problem. Additionally, could be issues with these power transistors as well. Let's do some investigation and find out what's going on.
To access the problem capacitors, let's remove the bottom panel. The inside of the panel is lined with a metal foil. This adds a bit of fire protection and shielding from external noise. This board handles mixing. This one's the reverb amp. And here's the rhythm section. Note the tuning dial weight. This gives the receiver a nice feel and a little inertia when spinning the tuning dial. Here's the bottom of the two output capacitors. Let's cut one out and take a look. 50 volts, 2200 microfarad, and looks like a date code of 22nd week of 71.
Let's test the capacitor, put it on leakage, ramp up the voltage. We're on 3 now. That's 6, 10, 15, 25. This is a 50 volt capacitor, so ideally we'll get this eye to open at 50 volts. Let's go to 50. Now this capacitor may reform, but we can see that the state that it's in now, it is not working correctly, and it's allowing DC to pass. And this very well could account for the DC that we're seeing on our speaker outputs.
Let's test the output transistors now. Note that they're all NPNs in a quasi-complementary setup. PNPs weren't as cheap and plentiful at the time, so many earlier transistor amps used this arrangement. All tested fine and were reinstalled with new heatsink compound. Let's temporarily tack in a new capacitor.
Okay, so I replaced this audio coupling capacitor on the left channel only. Let's power it up now and see if that DC is gone from our speaker output on the left-hand channel. Okay, there you go. You can see I'm up to about 70 volts, and we have virtually no DC on the left-hand channel. Great. Let's real quick, let me switch to the right channel and see the difference. Okay, on the right channel, we see we have significant DC. So we've definitely solved our problem on the left channel. We need to make these repairs permanent now to both left and right.
I temporarily tacked in a new capacitor for the right channel to clean up the DC on the speaker outputs, and I think we're ready now to power up the receiver with speakers to see how it performs and what's working and what's not working. I still have it attached to the dim bulb current limiter, and the Variac is putting about 116, 117 volts. Let's power the receiver on now and let's see what happens. Okay, good sign. All the indicator lamps seem to be working. I don't hear a lot of hum, so that's a good sign for our filter capacitors. Let's see if we can get this drum machine to work. Turn the selector to rhythm. Turn up our volume a little bit. Oh! There we go. Wow, you know, it really has a nice sound, actually. Okay, I'm going to adjust the tempo now. Works well. Let's try a different beat. What are we on here? That's Bossa Nova. Ballad. Rock. March. Waltz. And now we can switch to the other bank by depressing this button here. And that would now be Jazz Waltz. Mambo, Bossa Nova, Shuffle, R&B, and Foxtrot. I really like the sound of the Latin beats. Nice. Okay, let's see if we can add a little reverb to this, see if our reverb is working. This mode here selects the reverb. Let me put that on rhythm. Okay. Let's turn up the reverb. Oh, wow. Interesting. Let me tap the reverb tank to see what happens. Okay, let's turn the reverb off. And I've got the microphone attached. Let's see if that's working. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Adjust the mic level. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. No, nothing there.
Testing, testing, one. Oh, there we go. Testing, testing. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Control's a little scratchy, but not too bad. Great, yeah, our mic input is working as well. Come on, every beatbox, everybody right now. Yeah, bonus points in the comments, guys, if you know what that song's from. It's an oldie. Okay, let's try some of the other inputs now. Let's see if the radio's working. Okay, now we're in FM mode. Tuning is here. Okay, the FM tuner appears not to be working. Let's try AM. Yeah, also not working. Just move these selectors a bit to see if I can clean up the controls. Maybe it's just a contact problem. And you can see that our display lamps light up nicely as we go through the different sources. Let's try AM again. Oh, here we go. Huh, that seemed to fix that problem. A little bit scratchy. Yeah, I'm down in the basement, so not very good reception. But yeah, the AM band seems to be working. Let's go back to FM. And I do, by the way, have an FM antenna hooked up. Okay, let's see if we can get some FM. Go back to AM. Yeah, okay. For some reason, the FM seems to be completely dead. Okay, so the drum machine is working, the microphone is working, the AM radio is working. Because those things are working, I imagine we'll have no problems with the tape input, the phono input. So far, it looks like just the FM is not working correctly. Let's dive in and see if we can figure out what's going on there.
Actually, you know what? Let's do that in the next episode. Stay tuned. Looking for a shiny new gadget for your bench? Some good books on electronics, vintage hi-fi, or old radios? Indispensable tools, cleaners, or other products? Check out my new Amazon shop and help the channel. Lots of great products I actually own, use, and recommend, plus my thoughts on each one. Link in the description. To stay updated, please subscribe to my channel and click the bell to receive notifications when I release new videos. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I'll see you soon.